technology and engineering and math departments receive large amounts of money from the federal government. High schools are required today to teach math. High schools today are required to teach science, the STEM classes, as we call them. In Eisenhower's second administration, Nikita Khrushchev is invited to come to the United States, which he does. Richard Nixon, who was vice president of the United States, was the host for Mr. Khrushchev. And Mr. Nixon asked Mr. Khrushchev where he wanted to go, and Mr. Khrushchev said that he wanted to go to factories, he wanted to go to farms. Of course, Mr. Khrushchev was quick to point out to the international reporters that the Soviet Union far exceeded the United States. And toward the end, Khrushchev invited President Eisenhower to come to the Soviet Union on a similar goodwill mission. In Latin America, revolutions are beginning to expand. Latin America has always had the problem of having a strongman leader, and when he gets old, a young strongman leader emerges and takes over power. In the island of Cuba, during the Eisenhower administration, Fidel Castro, the gentleman who is on the right, is going to organize an overthrow of the Batista government. Now, Batista had come to power during the early 30s, and his regime was thoroughly corrupt. And in the late 1950s, Castro is going to overthrow Batista and declare Cuba a free and independent country. But almost immediately, Castro is going to call for support from the Soviet Union. Now the communists control Cuba, which is no more than 90 miles from the United States. This will become a problem in the next administration. In 1955, Eisenhower had proposed an open skies policy. The open skies policy is where we have our planes fly over the Soviet Union and take pictures. We invite them to fly their planes over the United States and take pictures. The Soviet Union disagreed, but that did not stop us. In 1960, a high-flying U-2 aircraft piloted by Gary Powers, he's the gentleman in the middle, is going to be shot down over the Soviet Union. Powers is going to be declared a spy. He will be captured, convicted, and thrown in jail. Now, when we get to the next administration, we'll talk about how Francis Gary Powers made it back to the United States. In 1960, the 22nd Amendment prevented Dwight Eisenhower from running for a third term. Eisenhower suggested, and the Republicans agreed, that Richard Nixon, Vice President of the United States, should be nominated for the Republican ticket. The Democrats had a very long and bitter primary, and in the end, they chose Massachusetts Senator John Kennedy to run for president on the Democratic ticket. Well, we have finished our work for today. Tomorrow, we're going to look at the Kennedy administration. Spoiler alert, Kennedy won the election. And we'll look at his very short term in office. He was there for only about 3.5 years. A reminder that the worksheet that is attached to this video needs to be completed by 11:59 tonight. Make sure you get it in. If you don't submit it, you don't get the pass point. Good luck to you.